Hey beautiful people, I'm Shelby J, also known as the Motherless Millennial on Instagram, and welcome to my channel. Now if you found yourself here on my channel, you probably identify with one of three groups. You might be a Gen Zer who lost a parent and thinking teenagehood was hard as it is. How in the hell am I supposed to get through adulting without my mom and my dad? Or you might be a millennial like me, who has been living this life for a little while now, but still stumbling a little bit and trying to figure it all out and looking for somebody to relate to. Or you might still have your mom and your dad, which is a blessing, and you just want to learn some mindfulness around the topic to help better support the people you love and care about. Or you could have your mom and daddy and really just be intrigued, like, I don't know how I would even survive the next day if I lost my parents. I don't know how y'all do it. Regardless of who you are, I'm glad you found me. And I know my channel will help you feel less alone, more hopeful, teach you a thing or two, and hopefully connect you with an uplifting community that I hope to build here on my channel. So keep watching. So the purpose of this video, my first video in particular, is to provide some background on me and my channel. Because you really didn't think I was just gonna throw down in the deep end talking about death of parents and grieving and trying to make it through life without parents without giving you a little context, did you? Not really my style. So to kick things off, did you know that an estimated 1.5 million kids in the US lose one or both parents by the age of 15? And guess what? I lost my mom 1 week after my 16th birthday. I guess that makes me a statistic. And then 2.5 years later, before I could even come up for air, I lost my dad 1 day before my high school graduation. I felt like I couldn't get a break. Anywho, that number accounts for just 5%, an estimated 5% out of the entire population in the US. Like this much. It's not really many of us out here, y'all, which means there weren't really a lot of resources out there for us either, which I learned the hard way. And so that's why I'm here. I saw a gap that needed to be filled, for real. And since our situation counts for such a small percentage, there's really not a lot of spaces and places and resources out here making sure we're all right, making sure we're getting through life okay, checking on us, you know? And well, that just did not sit right with me, y'all. It really didn't. So with that in mind, and almost 10 years post-parents now, I figured it was time for me to tell my story, to help people build community, cope, and most importantly, thrive. We're not in this alone, I promise. And speaking of thriving, that was one of the gaps that I saw that lacked in our space in general and even here on YouTube. You know, I remember when I was younger, sometimes even now, I'm looking for, how do I get through this situation without my parents? How do I deal with triggers? How do I get through all of these things? And often when I try to type in that sort of stuff, I would just get other people telling their stories. And it would be a very sad moment. And then they would be crying, I would start crying, thinking about their situation and my situation. And then at the end of it, I kind of felt like, okay, but where do I go from here? How do I survive this? How do I understand that this is a crappy situation in my life, but how do I go on to still try to live a life that's worth living? Because we deserve that. I just felt like that was missing. I was hoping for some tips or some suggestions, show me the way to the light at the end of the tunnel, something, and so I really, really, really was hoping for that, but it just wasn't there. But hey, I get it. It can be really hard to pull yourself out of the grief and the darkness that comes with losing parents, especially at an early age. And then trying to repurpose that trauma to serve others, not an easy task. Especially when you're barely trying to heal yourself, let alone others, it can be difficult. But somebody has to do it. So I'm here to show that it can and will get better. I'm here to share my hardships and mistakes, but also how I managed to persevere and be resourceful. And I really, really do hope it'll help you all. And I really hope to learn from you all, because honestly, I still found myself struggling with things I thought maybe I would have figured out now because I'm adult. You know how I do things by now, but there's still always something that would have been better within me. It's been 11 long years since I lost my mom and 8.5 long years since I lost my dad. But somehow I've still managed to do a lot of the things I wanted to do in life. College, grad school, traveling, good friendships, marriage. Even though it has been some of the most challenging times that I've had in my life. But the important part to focus on is that I did it. I did it still. And I still have all kinds of plans and dreams and things going on. Even, freshly turned 27 like 2 months ago. Still so many things that I want to do. And some that I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this without my parents. But I still plan to do it. And you can too. Now, in no way am I a therapist or a grief counselor. I don't have degrees in any of that, okay? I have degrees in environmental science and marine science. Not that, okay? But you might find that this may be a therapeutic outlet for you, as for me. But just want to make that clear. I'm either just like you now, if you're a millennial like me around my age dealing with this, or I was like you when I was 16, 17, 18 years old dealing with this. The only difference is that I'm putting all my business on the street to try to help people, which if you know anybody who knows me, not really my thing in terms of public things, but we evolve. And I might shed some tears on my channel. Try not to do that now. We are gonna strategize because we are trying to make it. We are trying to reach these goals and thrive regardless of our situations. I'm here for all of it. Because you know what? We may be grieving, but we're growing too. And I just don't think it's enough to simply survive. We deserve to thrive. And speaking of surviving and thriving, the holidays may be one of the hardest times to get through in our situation, which means you should definitely watch my next video, which is where I will talk about how I've gotten through the holidays over the years, how they've gotten so much better for me because of 3 really big tips that I have intentionally decided to do so that I can also enjoy the holidays, because it definitely wasn't always easy. So go ahead and like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel so that you never miss a video and I can always be here for you. And bring some people into this community who really need it, because we definitely are trying to build a good one. Have a good night, y'all, and I'll see you in my next video.